taken 4 and 8 years. When he referred to the fact that more U.S. citizens thought the country was heading in the right direction, a Democratic congressman was removed from the room after protests that interrupted his speech. Trump reiterated old promises and made new threats. He confirmed that immigration crackdowns would continue and reaffirmed accusations that the migrants who entered through the border were dangerous criminals. During his statements to the U.S. Congress, President Donald Trump revealed that the Ukrainian and Russian authorities have shown their readiness to start negotiations on a peace agreement. The Republican leader said he had received a letter from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressing his willingness to seek an agreement. Citing the letter, Trump also assured that the Kyiv regime is ready to sign at any time the agreement on minerals and security that was to be signed last week during Zelensky's visit to Washington. He noted that similarly, in talks his representatives have held with Russia, strong signals were received that the government of President Vladimir Putin is also willing to negotiate. And in this context, in the United States, protesters from 50 states gathered in parks and public spaces across the country to criticize the policies implemented by President Donald Trump as he gave his speech to Congress. In some of the demonstrations, activists waved Palestinian flags and took the opportunity to condemn the collaboration of the U.S. government with the Zionist regime of Benjamin Netanyahu. One of the rally points was the U.S. Capitol, where protesters chanted slogans against President Trump and expressed their concern about the growing threat of fascism while rejecting cuts and layoffs in federal agencies. The government of Venezuela activated a plan of absolute productive independence in response to the new U.S. sanctions against the operations of the oil company Chevron in the country. In reaction to Washington's decision, which orders the oil company to cease operations in Venezuela as from April 3rd, the executive vice president of the Bolivarian country, Delcy Rodriguez, said the Trump administration yielded to the pressures of the Venezuelan far right and it was harming itself by causing an increase of the fuel price in the North American nation. The vice president also informed that under President Maduro's orders, an absolute productive independence plan has been implemented to allow the Venezuelan oil industry and economy to continue its stable and diversified recovery. The carnival in the Colombian city of Barranquilla continues with the installation of 8 majestic macro figures inspired by the dances, characters, and musical rhythms and historical landmarks of the festivities. The figures are placed along the iconic Magdalena River's Great Malecon, becoming the largest open-air exhibition of the carnival. The artwork offers an enjoyable outdoors aesthetic experience to the foreign tourists and local residents alike. The artistic event, called River of Traditions, is financed by 8 Colombian institutions and companies and treasures the knowledge of local artists, masters, and artisans. Meanwhile, it's the final day of Carnival in Brazil, and here's our correspondent Amir with more.
It's Fat Tuesday in Brazil, and this only means one thing: Carnival ends at midnight. To all of the Catholics in Brazil, the majority of the population, although it's a shrinking majority, this means that tomorrow Lent starts, a period of 40 days in which good Catholics are supposed to sacrifice something they love. Often this sacrifice involves things like giving up drinking, giving up dancing, all of the things that are popular in Carnival, which has been going on for the past few days, a period when historically in the Catholic Carnival tradition, people have enacted all of their vices for the final stretch before Lent. But we know that there's many other traditions that have fused with Carnival here in Brazil, the Afro-Brazilian religions and other folk culture from the indigenous people and the Roma people. But even so, it means that traditionally at midnight it's all over. So for the local neighborhood carnival groups like Estrela, a Frevo organization founded in 1915, one of the oldest in Brazil, which is about to take the streets here in the city of Pau d'Alho, about 60 kilometers outside of Recife. This is their last performance. It's the end of Carnival for them, and they're planning on going out with a bang like all of the other neighborhood groups that are taking to the streets in small towns and cities across Brazil right now.
The Venezuelan parish of Petare in the state of Miranda celebrated the Carnival 2025 with different recreational activities. The festivities include concerts and float parades, as well as sports activities such as soccer and basketball and recreational games, including inflatable mattresses, costumes, and face painting. The cultural activities were present until this Tuesday, March 4th, which ensured fun for children during the celebration. Venezuela to pay tribute to Hugo Chavez on March 5th, 12 years after his physical departure. Hugo Rafael Chavez Frias became the undisputed leader of the Bolivarian Revolution of Venezuela. He supported cooperation in South America and the Caribbean and played a decisive role in the creation of the UNASUR, CELAC, ALBA TCP, the Bank of the South, and the regional television network teleSUR. As part of the commemoration of the 12th anniversary of the physical departure of Hugo Chavez, the PSUV called for a mobilization this Wednesday, March 5th, the March 6th, to honor the memory of the leader of the Bolivarian Revolution, as well as his political ideology and historical legacy. The schedule includes a stop for ecumenical prayer at the Dr. Carlos Arbelo Military Hospital and a commemorative cantata before heading to the Cuartel de la Montaña 4F, where the remains of Commander Chavez rest. All PSUV party authorities are expected to participate together with the political organizations that are part of the Gran Polo Patriótico. U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday night defended his administration's actions despite the fact that many of the measures are mired in controversy. Amid applause from Republicans and rejection from Democrats, the president called his administration the most successful era in the country, having achieved in 43 days what other administrations